A lot of applicants actually set themselves up for being disqualified when they first apply. I'm Lieutenant Skip, and today we're going to talk about why people get disqualified in the application process, specifically the background and the polygraph. The most common thing that happens is because they were in a rush to submit that application. You're excited, I get it. You want to get this application and you want to start that process and become the cop, right? We got to slow down. Everything in law enforcement is strategic, right? So whether you're going to go do a building entry and clear a house, a business, you are going to be strategic about what you do. Same thing with applying. You need to slow down and actually make sure you set the right foundation. A lot of times people will rush through that application process and just fill out things as they can remember, but they don't take the time to sit and actually get the details, get the specific information, and then that fact follows them through the application process, through the background investigation and the polygraph. And really, it can affect you as you apply to other departments as well. So this is what I mean. Let's say on the application, they ask you, have you ever been contacted by law enforcement? And you're like, well, no, I've been good. Really never got arrested, anything like that. And you put it in no. Well, during the background investigation, when they run a criminal history or you provide that to them, that's going to come up. A department may have a database where they can see where your police contacts are. Let's say you don't have a police contact. There was never report or an arrest on record. But when you go to the polygraph and you're like, oh man, actually I did. Well, that's going to flag, okay? They're going to look at, were you lying then when you filled out that application process, the initial application, or are you just telling the truth now because you know you're going to get caught? Does that make sense? So another example could easily be speeding. When was the last time you received a traffic citation? Or have you received a traffic citation in the last 10 years? You know what? No, I think I've been good. I don't really remember. Again, that's another easy thing to verify. The background investigator is going to pull your driving record. And if you have that discrepancy, were you lying then, or were you just careless on your application? And that's one thing they're going to look at. If you're careless on something this important, this significant to you, how are you going to act and how are you going to be as an employee of that department? You know, the carelessness is compounded in law enforcement. Narcotics. Have you ever taken any narcotics that were not prescribed to you? You say no. You know, because you're thinking, I didn't take Percocet, didn't take a prescription that was not assigned to me. I didn't go to the streets and buy some pill from a dealer. When you're going through this background investigation and you say no, well, you come down to your polygraph, and during that time, you remember a time that you took a pill from your spouse. You know, because you had a migraine, you had a back pain, you just threw your back out, and you're like, I need to take this muscle relaxant, and I'm good. I'm not stealing, it's my spouse's, so I'm good. But in the technical aspect, you took a medication that was not prescribed to you. Okay? And when that is discovered, when that flags in that polygraph, it's going to be something that will potentially disqualify you. If there is an indication of deception, an indication of omission, they will disqualify you. Okay? They don't have the time to go back and say, well, what if that? That's not going to be the case. You're going to get disqualified and they're going to move on to the next applicant. It is something that is frustrating for applicants, and a lot of these are minor mistakes, things that were not intended. You did not intend to lie. You did not intend to omit the facts, but it happened. And the results are disqualification. So the thing that you can do, the thing that you need to do, and the thing that I actually told a lot of the people that I worked with as a recruiter, was take the time and look at an application, look at a background packet, and start collecting that information. Make sure it's accurate. You know, if the last time that you did narcotics was 5 years ago, okay, well, try to narrow that down. You know, so that way you can at least say it was probably in 2013 or in 2018, but you're not trying to hide the facts. Okay? So when you get this information on the front end and you put that stuff down, you have it readily available, and now you can be confident with the information that you give a department. If you're looking for a template that can help you out with this, I actually have that on my website at earnmybadge.com. What you do is you actually take your time, you take the information, you actually type it into this template, and now you can copy and paste to any application that you submit to departments, and now you have consistency. One thing you need to be aware of is if you get disqualified in an application process and you apply for another department, they're going to ask you, have you ever submitted an application to another law enforcement agency? You say yes, they're going to say which ones, they're going to reach out to that department and find out what the disqualification was for. You say no, and then it's discovered in your polygraph that, oh yeah, actually he did apply, or he or she has some deception flags here, that's going to hurt you. Also be aware of today's technology that a lot of these applications are submitted electronically. Some states have a central database for applicants, meaning that you will apply, you'll submit your application, and that database, that entry, shows which departments you've applied for. So don't get caught in these games, do it the right way in the beginning, and that is going to help you out tremendously. And again, this is one of the simple things that you can do on the front end to better your chances of passing the police background investigation and that polygraph, and eventually and ultimately getting your badge. I hope this helps. Good luck.